Hey everybody, let's talk Portuguese. Today I wanted to talk about something that we use all the time and that you're using to watch this video right now. That's right, I'm gonna talk about technology. In order to find this video, you had to click around and access a site. In Portugal, that would be aceder a site, but in Brazil, that would be acessar site. You probably have accounts on your favorite sites, and in order to do that, you need to register an account with them. In Portugal, that would be registrar, and that word in Brazil is registrar. But to do this in Brazil, they prefer the term cadastrar. When you're registering your account, you need a username. In Brazil, that would be nome do usuário, but usuário in Portugal has other connotations, so instead they say nome do utilizador. You also are going to need a password, and in both Brazil and Portugal, you can get away with using the English word password. But in Brazil, they also keep it simple and use the word senha. In Portugal, you could also say palavra passe or palavra-chave. When you want to share something, which you might think about doing with my videos, in Portugal, you would be a partilhar, but in Brazil, you would be compartilhando. When we're doing that, we're consuming media, which in Portugal would be media spelled with an E, but in Brazil would be media spelled with an E. Whether you're on a computer or a mobile phone, you'll be using an operating system. In Portugal, that would be a sistema operativo, but in Brazil, that's a sistema operacional. Your desktop in Portugal is the ambiente de trabalho, or on Mac, a secretaria, but in Brazil, that would be an área de trabalho, or on Mac, the mesa. Your desktop or home screen wallpaper in Portugal is your fundo, which can be a plano padrão or imagem de fundo. In Brazil, they often translate the English literally and call it a papel de parede. We use apps constantly, and in Portugal, those would be aplicações, but in Brazil, they would be aplicativos. When you're doing work and you need to move files around, in Portugal, those are ficheiros, but in Brazil, those would be arquivos. One of the most commonly known differences between European and Brazilian Portuguese is the difference between what we call our mobile phones. In Portugal, those would be indeed a telemóvel, but in Brazil, they call them cell phones or celulares. You can't work on your technological devices if you don't have a functioning screen, which in Portugal is your ecrã, but in Brazil would be your tela. If you're on a computer, you're probably using a mouse, which in Brazil would be a mouse. In Portugal, they translate it literally and call it a rato. It doesn't matter whether you're using your fingers or a keyboard, the tendency in Portugal is to teclar, but in Brazil that would be digitar. And last but not least, when you're buying things online, in Brazil they make it easy and say you have itens in your cart, but in Portugal they don't use that word as much. Instead you would have unidades, artigos, or elementos, depending on the context. That's all I got for this technical topic of differences between European and Brazilian Portuguese. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. You might think about subscribing to my channel if you're not already. I also have a bunch of other videos just like this one, which you can find directly on my channel or in a playlist in the eye above, and I will see you next time.